today. Just make sure I've got you up on each platform. Today. All right. Good morning, Thomas. Good morning, Stephen. Let's see who we've got on the other channel. Morning, Stephen. Morning, Linda. Morning, Stuart. Morning, Harry. Morning, Melanie. Morning, Charlotte. Morning, Kirsten. Morning, Ian. Morning, Alexander. Morning, Ruth. Morning, John. Morning, Steve. Morning, Duncan. Morning, Dave. Morning, Derek. Morning, Susie. Morning, Fiona. Numbers are starting quite nicely. I need to try and get an automated system to put the notices out. Good morning, last brave heart. Morning, Eddie. Nice to speak to you last night. Morning, Big Ray. Morning, Elizabeth. Morning, Graham. Morning, DJ Marty. Morning, Lenny. Morning, Hugh. Morning, Jill. Right, we're up on the 100 marks. Let's get this broadcast underway. Indy Truck Davey put the truck at home in his office in Salisbury, North Lanarkshire, where it is a beautiful morning, 15 degrees. A bit chilly this morning though, so I put a jumper on. Anyway, that's the weather forecast for Salisbury, North Lanarkshire. You want to know the weather's like where you are? Look out your own bloody windy. All right, so this is the news review for the 12th of the 8th, 2022. Better known to you and me as yesterday. All right, Monday started with one team in the rags. Elizabeth Windsor, Duchess of Balmoral's last great journey across Scotland. We are apparently in mourning. We don't have a choice. We are in mourning. The state propaganda machine paints a picture of a Scotland in mourning. There is no debate on the future direction of the UK, no debate on the future of the institution of monarchy, as there should be in a healthy democracy. No, none of that. We are in mourning. Anyway, the death of the Duchess last Thursday is quickly followed by the new king ascending to the throne. He's declared the new head of state, no debate. We are told, we are sad, our great leader has passed. Now her oldest son is forced upon us, and we are instructed to be sad and to be in mourning. We are in enforced mourning. We are instructed by the instruments of state that we are in mourning. All broadcast and media outlets instruct us to mourn. Dissenting voices are being arrested and charged with spurious public order charges. The right to freedom of opinion and expression is a basic human right. Article 18 of the Human Rights Act states anyone has the right of freedom of thought, conscience, and religion, or no religion in the case of the last one. These rights are reinforced in Article 9. No one will be subjugated to arbitrary arrest or detention or exile for expressing an opinion. Okay, now everyone has the right to freedom of opinion, freedom of expression, or freedom to express those opinions without interference. Everyone has the right to seek, receive, impart information through any media outlet, regardless of frontier. That, believe it or not, folks, is what actually protects the freedom of our press. The right to be able to seek knowledge, to gather knowledge, to impart knowledge and ideas across borders without infringement. All right. Now, everyone has these rights, and even if you find the timing of some of the protests about the installation of a new head of state distasteful at this time, that doesn't matter. Tough. It is their human right to express their opinion. The fact that they're being arrested on spurious charges, dragged out of crowds, probably for their own good, actually. But if it was explained to them that it was for their own good, and they were set free and set on their way, that would be fine. But that's not what's happening. These people are being charged for dissidence. At least that's how it appears. Freedom of speech is being infringed upon. It would appear that the newly imposed imperial master will start his reign clamping down on freedom of speech. You know. So this isn't really the image that Charlie wants, is it? Is this the new North Korea? Anyway, we will follow orders and we will be in mourning. Aye, bloody right. What's going on is outrageous. Now, over the last couple of days, I have seen 5 people arrested for expressing the opinion that Charles should not have been elevated to the position that he is in without an express will of the people. What the people in England who are protesting don't really understand is there isn't an express will of the people. He's your supreme ruler. But here in Scotland, there is a bloody express will of the people. And Charles should never have been officially declared king on Sunday without at least some sort of consultation. Anywho, it's not a good look for the start of Charles's reign. Right, moving on. Monday, an analysis of the Turtle on a Pole's energy package and proposed tax cuts would see UK's highest earners receive more than twice the support the poorest families would receive. According to the think tank, the Resolution Foundation, the wealthiest families will receive £4,700 a year of government support. The poorest will receive only £2,200 of support. Typical Tories keep their voters and benefactors happy. The whole system of Tory government is corrupt. Cash for access is also back. Now, I've reported on the cash for access before, right? The 250 Club, or board as they're called, because they're called advisors to the government, if they give 250 grand a year to the government, they get access to government ministers. They also get access to, through insider trading, government contracts, and that sees the public services getting crap equipment and everything else. All right, now we've seen that. We've seen that government contracts have been given out, PPE, and billions of pounds were transferred to cronies of the Tory party, and crap was delivered. Unusable 10 billion quid's worth of crap being burnt as we speak. The other thing that we've seen through this board with cash for access is changing to planning laws. And one particular a developer that I spoke to, who'd given huge amounts of money to the housing minister down that road, he had his planning past 1 days before new levies come in London, which seen Hackney Council lose out in 40 million quid's worth of revenues. Corrupt as hell. The other thing that this 250 Club get access to, of course, is ministers who regulate environmental laws. And environmental laws are being reduced down that road to benefit these members of the 250 Club. And that's why the English people find human excrement getting pumped into their water courses from the privatised water companies. Absolutely corrupt. Absolutely corrupt. Lydia, the archers were there to protect Charles yesterday. They're the Crown's Royal Guard here in Scotland, the archers. Okay, I'll put that comment up. The archers were also there to protect the Queen when my father received his MBE stroke OB. We're not quite sure what that is now. Right, anyway, the consequences of the corruption have been in the press here. You know, as I say, substandard supplies to the public in the form of PPE and other things like ventilators. Electoral developments going ahead despite lack of public support and the council's objections. And we have had as I say, environmental protections law and standards in food and agriculture law with the introduction of GM crops down that road. Okay, so corruption is rife down that road, and you know, there's no very much we can do about it. But the whole system of government down that road is absolutely bent. Okay, right, moving on. Monday also, the new unit rate pricing for October is released. Okay, now the new unit rate for electricity will be 34 pence per kilowatt hour, and the daily standing charge for electricity will be 46 pence and 46.36 pence. All right. Now, the new unit pricing for gas come the 1st of October will be 10.30 pence per kilowatt hour, and the standing daily charge for gas will be 28.49 pence. Now, this is a whopping 85% increase in where it was in April's a cap rise. A whopping 85%. Absolutely mental. And that gets us just round about or just above the level of the cap that Liz Truss is talking about imposing. Okay, but absolutely outrageous. And we'll get a wee bit more of that as we get into it. All right. Moving on, Monday. Also, Monday, Chancellor Kwasi Kwarteng instructs the Treasury to concentrate on getting the economy up and running. He tells the Treasury they better be able to get the economy growing by 2.5%, and that they set fiscal responsibility to one side and concentrate on economic growth. Okay, but of course it won't work. You know, why won't it work? Well, you know, it will not work for various reasons, but the main reason it will not work is inflation, weak pound, and the UK's debt at I think it's just over 2.7 trillion now, almost 3 trillion. It was only 800 billion when the Tories came to power. You've got to ask yourselves, what did they do with 2 trillion quid in that 12 years? Because none of it, well, you can't see it in the public services. The public services have been trashed. Anywho, the Treasury will ignore Kwarteng, as there's no room for growth. The economy anytime soon. The UK has left the world's largest free trading bloc and has no significant trade deals with the rest of the world. We are paying the highest taxes in 70 years, and in general, people's disposable incomes have suffered. We have the highest fuel and energy costs in the Western world, and wages have stagnated under 12 years of Tory austerity. The economy has flatlined, with no economic growth in the second quarter of the year, and recession going to hit in the fourth quarter of the year, and it's likely to last for a few years. Okay, now, investors are fleeing Little Britain, stroke England, and inflation is rampant, and the currency's crashing. Now, rough times ahead, folks, thanks to the criminals in the House of Thieves and Carpetbaggers. Right, moving on, Monday. Latest UK employment rates are out. The ONS says 75.2% of all Scots between the ages of 16 and 64 are gainfully employed. The figures for RUK is 75.4%, so we're actually doing better. Unemployment in Scotland is at a record low, apparently, of 3.2%. The figure in RUK is a 3.6%. The numbers will rise dramatically in 2023 if the Bank of England's forecasts are correct. Also, Monday, the Office for National Statistics released their COVID figures. They should have been released on Friday, but due to circumstances where the Duchess passing away, the figures were held out on Monday. 1 in 70 people in England have COVID, 1 in 95 in Wales, 1 in 50 in Scotland, and 1 in Northern Ireland. 1 in 50 in Northern Ireland. Now, the reason more people in Scotland and Northern Ireland have COVID is believed to be due to our school terms having started. Public Health England and Wales expect COVID to increase in England and Wales when their new school terms start in a week or so's time. Okay, the age groups for the highest levels of COVID infection in the UK are in the 16 to 24 age group. Well, they tend to mix a lot with each other. And in the over 70s age group, which is quite worrying because they don't tend to mix that much. So the latter of the two is of concern. So in the age groups where COVID doesn't seem to be declining, is in the 16 to 24-year-olds, they're not really feeling it. And in the over 70s, which is quite an actual concern. Okay, so that was the figures released for the ONS yesterday. Unemployment is down in Scotland, apparently, and down right across the UK. I don't see it myself. These figures must be getting manipulated. Right, also Monday, Chancellor of the Exchequer says mini budget still set to go ahead this month to lay out how the government intends to pay for the energy crisis support. All right. Now, it's still not clear why the government, in the House of Thieves and Carpetbaggers, needs to transfer 130 billion of our money to extremely profitable businesses rather than just cap or tax their profiteering. Right, anyway, the only dates available for this contract that the Chancellor is going to put out in his mini budget are the 20th, the 21st, and the 22nd of September, because after the 22nd of September, the Parliament goes into recess for 3 weeks for the autumn conference season. Right, also Monday, the Fib Dems cancelled their conference because it clashes with the Queen's funeral. The Scottish Fib Dems will be hiring the police box in North Bridge Street in Edinburgh for their conference. The guy who normally sells coffee from the old police box says once he takes his coffee machine out, it will comfortably sit there for MSPs. Anyway, how do the Tories plan to transfer more of our money to their corporate sponsors? Well, the plan is to sell UK government debt bonds to raise the money. I don't fancy their chances. With the pound crashing, rampant inflation, and the economy bombing, no one's buying UK debt bonds, especially with the risk of Scotland leaving the UK and taking her assets with her. What currency are you going to use after Scottish Indy, Little England? Remember Little England, with only one third of the UK's landmass and 8.3% of the population of the UK, Scotland is actually 25% of the UK's economic output. We're the most productive area of the whole of the UK, out with the southeast of England, and we'll be outstripping them shortly and all, because investment is fleeing the southeast of England while it's piling in to Scotland. Inward investment in Scotland last year was 8.1%. Inward investment in England last year was 1%. Okay, moving on. Monday, and the Duchess of Balmoral's bodies moved from Holyrood Palace to St James's Cathedral to lie in state in the Scottish colony for about 21 hours. The Duchess's children hold a vigil. Charles then pops along to Holyrood to hear tributes to the Duchess from the parliamentarians. While there, Charlie says nice things about the colony of Scotland. Also Monday, EU's Brexit chief negotiator, Marko Stefkovic, brings new EU ideas for the NI protocols to the table, saying he hoped to work with the UK constructively over and the NI UK trade problems And Mr. Stokovic says the new ideas put forward by the EU will see seamless trade between the UK and Northern Ireland. No one answered the EU from the UK because we are all enforced mourning. And there wasn't a lot out there, folks, but just about enough. Finally, for Monday, it's been reported that Putin's jackets own a sugary peg. As troops flee 6,000 kilometers, his troops flee 6,000 kilometers of northeast Ukraine under a Ukrainian advance. All right, the President Zelensky pleads to the West for more arms to hold the gains he's made in the north of Ukraine. It's also reported that Zelensky wants to start an offensive in the occupied Crimea. The bloodshed continues, and some buggers still making money out of it. All right. Now, so Kirtang plans on putting out his money budget. The only days that are available for it are the 20th, 21st and 22nd of this month. So we'll see what transpires. But what we do know is that there's going to be a huge transfer of wealth from the public purse to the energy giants. And we're going to see the undermining of the public services even more. Trying to force the Treasury to make telling the Treasury to try and make the economy grow by 2.5% a year when you don't have markets to sell to is a bloody waste of time. And anyway, the way they behave, the way the Bank of England's been behaving and the UK government's been behaving, these are the people who are actually responsible for crashing the economy. No juiced. We, the Brexit wheeze. We now have rampant inflation, the energy crisis, the pound crashing, the Bank of England hiking interest rates, and it's all taking money out of the consumer's pocket. And if the consumer doesn't have money in his pocket, can he spend it into the market contracts. We've got a house of thieves and carpetbaggers full of fucking economic illiterates. And I mean economic illiterates. A great example of it is the people who need the most help are getting the fucking least. And those in the highest earning brackets in the PAYE system here in the UK will get 4,700 quid a year relief for this year. And the poorest will get 2,200. Grandma's still going to fucking die this winter because of government policy. And we've got the state cracking down on dissidents. What a fucking shit show. Hope that rounds it up nicely for you folks. Ah, fuck. What a mess. You couldn't make this up. There's a reason why I called Tuss a turtle on a pole. She knows she get help to get up there. But now she's there, she has to get a fucking Scooby when she's dead. And the economic illiterates and the Etorians goes on. Wait, Liz, nice but dim, sorry. No so nice but dim. Being used as a bloody puppet to keep things crashing. Everything's being fucking asset stripped. And there's a scorched earth policy on the economy. None of it makes any fucking sense. Unless, of course, it is, as Davies always said, a debt avoidance scheme for England. And we will see the UK crumble and go its separate ways. Why? Because you can't get fucking debt out of a deed entity. If the UK no longer exists, nobody owes a fucking debt. Wow. Anyway. And Zelensky's taking a wee bit of land back for Putin, but there will be massive bloodshed because Putin's just going to shake himself down and retaliate. All right. So let's move on to this morning and see what the shit in the rags is this morning. No prizes for guessing because we are in enforced mourning. Okay, dokie, let's see what the rags have to say this morning. The King's Vigil of Scotland remembers the Queen. What a lot of push. The only thing I remember right yesterday is I started work at 6 o'clock and finished at 10:30. All right. So the Metro has the King's Vigil. The Telegraph has Guard of Honour. The Scottish Daily Mail has King's Silent Vigil for Queen and Mother. We don't do the Sun. The Eye has Vigil for Mother. The Herald, look on the bright side, he gets to hold a vigil for his parents. The amount of people the state have killed with COVID in the last 2 fucking years. Nobody's had a chance to have a vigil. The Herald has the King's Vigil. The Scotsman has the King's Vigil. The Daily Express has Lost in Grief for Darling Mama. The Looney Rag, the Record, has Monarch of the Glen. So apparently Charles is the Monarch of the Glen now. The Times has Royal Family United in Grief. Most families are united in grief until the funeral's over and they all hit the buffet and the bar. The Press and Journal says Britain prepared to shut down for Queen's funeral. Apparently the supermarkets are going to shut next Monday. Make sure you get your messages in on Sunday. The Courier says Scotland's Queen at rest. Scotland's Queen piss all. Duchess of Balmoral. And what is the national vote for us? Has the UK gone mad? Police facing questions after outrageous series of anti-monarchists arrested, including Andrew Heckler. And BBC sycophant King coverage slammed as laughable amid refusal to platform Republicans. And that's what I was saying at the beginning of this. Where are the debates on the future of the UK? Where is the debate on the future of the monarchy? We are in enforced mourning. We have got the propaganda machine setting a narrative which isn't the narrative that we see in our daily lives. For example, Davy was at his village shop yesterday, no the co-op this time, and the boy was bundling up all the papers. He said, "Nobody buying papers, son." He said, "No, Davy." Right, what's the star goal for Scotland Mourns? We came to say goodbye. I wonder how many of them are tourists. I wonder how many of them couldn't move because others had stopped. Wow. But I'm not seeing it in my daily life. I don't see Scotland mourning. I don't see the images we're seeing in this bloody paper. This is pure propaganda. Where are the voices of reformists? Where are the Republican voices? Where is the debate? The new king was forced on us very, very rapidly so that we couldn't have that bloody debate. That's what we call state propaganda. And that's the pish in the papers today. And that's going to be the pish in the papers right up until after Monday. And even then we will not hear a Republican voice. Not bloody one. And the reason for it is the people in the UK have been taught to think of Republicanism as an Irish Catholic terrorist thing. Well, Davy's not a Catholic. Davy's not Irish. Well, part Irish. And Davy is a Republican. My other mate Davy's a Republican and all. He's not a Catholic, he's a Protestant. My Republicanism is born out of the fact that I don't believe that any man on this planet is born above me or born to rule me. All men are born equal. And women. Every bloody one. And what we are seeing here is the imposition of a new dictator. And one thing we do know about Charlie is he will assert the fact that it's his fecking sovereignty in Parliament. All right. So there was a bit of other news out there yesterday. The economy's still crashing. Everything is in shite state. Yeah, Lenny, you can go to jail for #NotMyKing. We guy outside Parliament yesterday doing that, holding up a bit of paper that said "Not My King," get carted off. Well, you know, I'm going to exercise my Article 18 rights and my Article 9 rights of the Human Rights Act. And I'm going to broadcast my republicanism and "Not My King" right across whatever media platforms I have. Because it is a democratic outrage that there is no discussion on the future of the monarchy or the future of the UK at this point in time, after 70 years of stagnation under the existing head of state. And why can I say the existing head of state? Because Charlie was part of the last head of state's entourage. And I certainly won't have anybody who claims they're anointed by God to rule over me. Mental case. It is a democratic outrage, David. You're absolutely correct. Anyway, that's what I've got for you today, folks. I hope you found it entertaining. I hope you found it informative. Hold on to get my somber face back on, because apparently we are in enforced mourning. We have to be somber when we're broadcasting, folks. This is a time of great sorrow. Don't know who the fuck is a time of great sorrow for, but I'll tell you one thing, it's not me. And I will just echo what Free Scotland has to say. No, not my king. And if we want to send the cops in, we'll have a wee discussion about Articles 18 and Articles 9 of the Human Rights Act. Simple as that. I have the right to freedom of expression. I have the right to freedom of thought. I have the right not to have a religion. I have the right to express my opinion. I have the right to seek, receive, and inform information across international boundaries. Information and ideas. That's what protects freedom of the press. So, not my king. Right, let's go into the usual stuff. Once we get this bullshit out the road, I'm sad for the wee woman's family, but hey, nothing's changed in my life, and I'm not getting a bank holiday next Monday, because all you bams that are going on bank holidays are going to need vehicles to carry all your goods. We'll be doing the clean up. Anyway, there is a campaign underway. Keep your eyes on the prize. Learn your how you gonies and get out there and win hearts and minds. One way or another, Scotland's going to have its say. The new king has just actually pledged and swore to uphold Scotland's claim of right. So the Scotland will have its fucking say one way or another. And there will be a plebiscite somewhere along the line to cement that say. Because this is a constitutional democracy. Alright? So, eyes on the prize, learn your how you gonies, get out there, win hearts and minds. Support the independent media. Support Broadcasting Scotland, Independence Live, Indie Live Radio, Caldon Media. Support Two's Radio, the iScot magazine, and the national newspaper. Support independent bloggers and bloggers, because that's where you'll get to hear the voices of Republicans and others with other exercising their freedom of expression. Alright. And, of course, health messaging. I've just read the COVID figures out. They were meant to be out Friday. You would normally get them in the review of the weekend. They were out Monday. 1 in 50 here in Scotland. Still a high number, folks. That means 1 in every 50 people you meet out there has got it. So, follow the last couple of bits of guidance. Face coverings in large enclosed public spaces, enclosed public spaces, clean hands and surfaces regularly. Now, use a wee bit of social conscience, okay? If you're feeling a wee bit under the weather, mask up, social distance, because all our immune systems are low, and every wee bug out there is hitting us like a fucking sledgehammer at this point in time. Alright, and if you're still using NHS lateral flow tests, if you're in health and social care, then submit your results so we can get a true picture of what's going on out there. Okay. Now listen, I hope you found today's show informative. I hope you found the delivery entertaining. And we'll be back tomorrow to do it all again. You know, there is bits of news out there. It's trying to whittle it down, you know, and get away from the enforced propaganda and mourning, which is being enforced on us. You lot have a nice day. We'll see you all again to do it all again tomorrow. Feck knows what's going to be in the report, but I'll dig something up.